One good thing about having a bit of a wet summer is it keeps the dust down. You can see it's getting a little bit dry now. Well, the track's certainly dry. But good morning everyone, or evening, depending where you're watching from. Just brought these calves into the shed. They're just getting their weekly drench for zinc. Come on. Looking alright. There's a few smaller ones, but this is a real nice calf here. I don't know what number it is, but beautiful. There was actually talk of rain this afternoon. I don't think it'll be much, but we'll definitely keep the dust at bay for a little bit longer. It is sort of clouding over at the moment. All done, but they're actually getting pretty used to it now. It's certainly a lot easier than a couple of weeks ago. I was just wondering if anybody out there's got those auto drench guns. I think they're battery powered. This isn't too bad. You've just got to pull the handle back by hand every time you do it, which is a little bit annoying. So I was looking into those battery powered drench guns, but I don't know, they seem a little bit too good to be true. So I was wondering if anybody's got one and know if they work or not. Got a little bit of bad news this morning though, and it's to do with sort of lameness. I got Morgan out from the vet. She came and had a look at one of my lame cows, and we're generally pretty good. We don't have too many of them in a season. Once a day really helps with that. They're only walking to the shed, once in the morning, which does bring your lameness incidents down a bit. But it's just been so wet that the races have been cut up. It's brought stones through, so we have had a few more than normal, and they have actually been pretty good. Like nothing's been too serious, except for this cow right here, number 52. She's been lame for a little while. I did have a look at her foot a couple of weeks ago and found a stone in there, a bit of a black line, so I sort of got it out and put a block on her. I gave her some drugs or some antibiotics to sort of help with that, and she didn't really get a lot better, and I noticed that she got a lot worse over this last week. So I got Morgan out this morning. She had a look at it, and it's got like an infected foot and it's spread up into the joint. So we've given her some stronger antibiotics and hopefully that helps, although she said it's quite a small chance now that it's in the joint. It's really, really bad. So the prognosis for her is it's most likely that she's going to go for pet food, because there's not a lot of hope that it's actually going to be able to cure it. So yeah, it really sucks. She's actually my favourite cow, which sucks even more, but unfortunately you do get cases like this. I haven't had one in the last 4 seasons I've been home. We've had to cull a cow because of lameness. So yeah, a little bit gutted, but at the end of the day, it happens. Might be a few people out there wondering why I'm saying that, because it's probably not a good look, but in reality that is just the reality of the situation. So unfortunately, as farmers, we try and do everything we can to keep our stock happy, safe and alive, but sometimes you just can't save them all. So we're giving her 5 days with the current antibiotics and reassessing the situation then. But like I said before, there's not a lot of hope, or the chances of her pulling through aren't that high. So like I said before, it's just the reality of it. You guys alright? They knocked you off. On a more positive note though, check this out. Got a pump. It's just the cover, which will sit in here one day. Should sit down here somewhere. While Mum was away, Dad had dinner over at our neighbours one night, and Johnny said that he had a pump like that just sitting in his shed because they extended their cow shed quite a few years ago, I think it was. They went from a 30 to a 40, and that one couldn't quite keep up, so they had to get a new one, and it was just sitting in his shed ever since. So we've got that bit. Now we just need a variable speed drive, which is really the expensive part. So instead of that pump just pumping the whole time, the variable speed means when like the milk level gets up in the receiving can to a certain point, like the more full it gets, the harder that pump goes. So if there's nothing in there, I don't think it pumps at all, or it just sits on sort of idle. But it's looking like we probably won't get that till next season. And to be honest, like there's no real rush. What we've got at the moment's working. It's just we're sort of piecing it together piece by piece. It's really hard to see, but just to the right of that barn there's a paddock of maize, and they were harvesting it yesterday, so they're into it over there. I think even this morning the JCB was on the 2 stacks, or they were filling them. They don't look completely full, but they've put some in there. And I caught up with Darcy last night. We're on the local squash committee together, and he's going to try and come and have a look at this maize either today or tomorrow. I haven't heard from him today, so maybe it'll be tomorrow. He's not real concerned because the stuff he was chopping yesterday of his had blight real bad. There wasn't a green leaf on the plant, so it was like completely brown, and it was still chopping at like 36% dry matter. So there's still quite a bit of green on mine, so it's probably not too bad, and it probably can wait a few days. The planned chopping date's like not till the 10th or 14th of March or something, so we're a wee way off that, but it will be good to get a second opinion on it and show him, see what he thinks. Looks like we probably will get a bit of rain this afternoon. Didn't actually end up coming to much. It sort of wet the ground and that was about it, but I haven't heard from Darcy. I'm guessing he's not going to come today, and tomorrow's looking a little bit wet actually, so maybe we won't do it tomorrow either. I think his plan was to bring his drone, we'll fly it around, have a look, see how brown it looks, and sort of go from there. But it would be quite good to know when he thinks it's going to be ready. I am going away next Thursday, so it'd be kind of handy to either chop it before then, or it'll have to wait till I get back the following week. But once he's here, we'll know a little bit more. So I'll see you then.
Yeah, I mean, once you sort of get to this sort of stage, these plants are just dying off.
Yeah.
You know, there's 60% of the leaf's been lost to the leaf blight, and the plant sort of goes, you know, I'm over and out, I've had enough.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them are still quite green husk covers, and they're probably the ones that got infected last, I suppose. But you can feel that cob's actually quite loose as well, like, because it's little solar panels are have been affected by the blight, and it's like halving the area. Well, you know, that plant there, I mean, there's not much green leaf left on it, you know.
Nah.
So
it's really only one or two.
Shut down, and it's you know, it's probably at about half milk line, maybe a little bit more. So yeah, it probably does need to be harvested fairly, you know, this week sometime.
Oh yeah?
Yep.
Before Thursday?
the dry matter won't be hell of a high. There'll be still quite a bit in those stalks, and yeah.
What are you going to chop down to?
Oh, I mean, it'll still be, you know, this might chop at 35 or 36 now. So
36 will be alright.
Yep. I mean, your leaf's only, what, 10 or 15% of your total yield, which you've obviously lost, but the biggest loss is that it's not nice and green, and like I said, the solar panel filling the cob. Yeah. So yeah, you can notice with these, especially you get one that's hanging or something, and those I mean, it's not too bad. I mean, but there's a little bit of shrinkage going on there instead of filling it out. You know, it's quite loose.
Yes, you can see it moving
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Whereas, you know, that's off a plant that shut down, you know, a few days ago, really.
Yeah.
But you still want your dry matter, you know, up in that around that 35 mark. So you're gonna harvest about then anyway. It's just probably come a little bit quicker than you want, and really you wanted that last bit of grainful.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's probably a couple of weeks earlier than well predicted. What did we say the other day? We were 10th to 14th of March. So it's quite a bit earlier than that.
So I mean,
2 weeks.
At the end of the day, it's probably just as debilitating to yield as what a bit of drought stress is, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have a
we
good yield.
We certainly haven't got that this year.
No.
We've got other problems.
I know, but that's the worst thing. We're not in a drought for once, and something else hits it. So yeah. But oh no, that's all good then. Harvest, chop it.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll have a look around and see what sort of percentage of the paddock looks like this, and I mean, there may be some areas that are a bit greener, but you know, if most of it looks like this, well, yeah, that would certainly be the decision.
Yeah.
Sort of looking up the roads, and they look quite brown. Like you can't see any green going up that hill up there, can you? There's a couple of
Little spots, but not much.
Mind you, that might be the weeds and the gaps.
Yeah, wow.
And not, you know, just around that tree is a little bit green, isn't it? But
Yeah, I reckon it's just as bad probably. If not, probably maybe one of the worst.
what are we? Direct drill those two?
Those three over there were direct drilled.
Yeah.
And these three here were strip tilled.
Oh,
Yeah. Which, yeah, I definitely think the strip till looks a little better. I don't know.
Just in the size of the plants. You know?
Yeah, I just think the stalks look a little bit bigger in general.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's shutting down quite rapidly, isn't it? I mean, we haven't got any cobs hanging in here, but you can see it's going the same way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty quickly. We'll still have it's still drying down reasonably well. I mean, like a couple of days by the time we get here.
Yeah. Definitely. There's not a lot of milk left in there.
Oh, I'd say it's, you know, it's about half starch, half milk. Still quite milky down that end there. Yep. But you know, without the blight, this would be a nice green plant, and you'd be taking it down quite a bit further.
Yeah, definitely.
Getting the most out of it.
Which is a shame.
Yeah. Yep, but I mean, that's once that plant dies, it's not going to do anything anyway. So, and we're probably only, you know, a week away from being completely brown leaves in most of this. Yep. We're starting to get a few hanging cobs in here.
Yeah.
So, you know, that plant is completely brown, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
Chop it.
This one's not far behind it. So, yeah. Oh, well, no, very good.
Put it in the stack.
Indeed. Send you a big JCB.
Yeah, the new one.
20 tonne.
Yeah, the new one will be good. Be good to film. So I guess one of the questions is now, like you were saying before, some varieties are a lot more susceptible to leaf blight than others.
Yep.
So would I be looking to change? I guess it's sort of like the same thing with the bird strikes.
Yep.
Like, is it going to happen one year and then maybe not the next? Like, do I need to change varieties going forward to try and get a little bit more resistance in it?
Well, I mean, leaf blight's always an issue that you should take into account, I suppose. But
yeah,
you don't know what sort of summer you're going to get. A warm, wet one, it's going to be worse. And what have we had this year?
Yeah.
Other years, any variety you'll get away with it really, but yeah, that seems to be the best defence is to pick one that's got a strong rating for the leaf blight. So
and I'm in ground, and I certainly know that I can get it. So probably look at something that maybe is a little bit less susceptible to it.
Yep. What'd you say? This is pack
I think it's 500, yeah.
Pack 500. Yep. So I don't know. We can have a look and see what the rating is on that one. But
yeah, definitely. Yeah. But that's all right. At least we know. Chop it in the next few days. And now, I suppose replanting. So I'll probably go back into maize in there. So because it's strip tilled, just run the drill straight through it. It'll be sweet. Yep. And then for the 3 that got direct drilled, I'm going to put them back into a permanent.
Yep.
So I was speaking to someone that said they cross drill it.
Yep.
And it works pretty good because it sort of knocks the ridges off and stuff.
Yep.
But it's a little bit more expensive. Do you need to?
Well, I guess from a weed control point of view and not being able to see well, they're 5-inch rows out of our disc drill, which you'll see for quite some time afterwards. Whereas if you cross drill it, you won't see it. But I think all the research suggests it is a waste of time. But still, a lot of farmers like to cross
drill,
like to not see those rows.
Yeah.
And I guess it gives you a bit more ground coverage and
it definitely does look better. It's just whether it's that extra money's effective, I guess.
Yep.
Whether it's worth paying that double pass, really.
Yeah. Well, all the research I've seen suggests it's not. But like I said, we still do a fair bit of it for quite a few.
You don't do any yourself? Oh, I suppose you don't put a lot of permanent in.
Don't put a lot of permanent in, no.
And like this paddock here, this wasn't cross drilled and it looks alright, or cross drilled.
Yeah. I mean, most permanent pasture we actually power and roller drill, especially if there's enough moisture around to do that. Just because you've usually still got a little bit of flattening out that you want to do, and you're going back into a permanent crop, so you want your paddock as smooth as possible, and of course the roller drill doesn't really leave rows at all. So.
It does the best job out there, but there's not much point putting a direct drilled maize paddock, running a power harrow, and because you sort of defeat the whole purpose of it.
Yeah, although just the light power harrow over the top.
You could still do it.
Yeah. People still have.
With the direct drill crop?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because all the turf in between the rows is well rotted away now. Like you walk in there and you struggle to tell the difference between cultivated and non-cultivated. Yeah, you do. It is pretty amazing. Yeah.
It's
So it'll power harrow much the same as a cultivated crop will.
Oh, maybe that's not a bad idea then.
There will be less ridges from the maize planter and anything from ploughing or whatever that didn't get flattened out in the initial cultivation.
And last time.
Well, you don't have those problems in a direct drill paddock, do you?
No.
If it was smooth going in, it'll be pretty smooth coming out. Strip till's a little bit different. You will notice a bit of roughness from strip tilling.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you could power harrow that easy enough.
Yep. Again, that does power harrow out
real well.
They're only little ridges, but they're quite consistent from strip tilling.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, that's something to think about then. Yeah. Although the payout has dropped, so it might just be the single pass. I could probably do Wednesday as well, but I do have the Dairy Awards evening for the Waikato. It's like the finals night, the awards night on Wednesday, so if they did it in the morning that'd be alright. But yeah, either Tuesday or Wednesday, hopefully. Otherwise I'll be away. But tomorrow I'm just going to come down, chip all the stuff off the top. I was talking to Darcy about it. He reckoned, probably the best thing to do. You could butt up, like take maybe a metre of that black stuff off and then sort of join the new stuff up there. But he's like, well, probably the best thing to do would be chip it all off, and then you can sort of fill in a few holes at the back here, and then I'll probably put new plastic down anyway, use that stuff along the walls. But got a little bit of a plan with that anyway. It's good it came in at a look though, because at least I know where I stand now. I was thinking I might even give them a call tomorrow and just see where they want to fit us in. Hopefully it's not like tomorrow afternoon, but I don't know, at least we'll know even a little bit more then. It kind of does suck we got that blight. Like, it has been a pretty good growing season for us here. You think you'd have nice green leafy maize, but it's kind of like just having a drought now. It's like dying off. But then again, we have gone pretty unscathed compared to other areas like the Hawke's Bay, Gizzy, Northland, Bay of Plenty. Like, they've been absolutely hammered with all this rain and especially that cyclone. So we have got off fairly lightly. I was also telling him I want to see the difference, or it'd be interesting to see the difference between the direct drilled and the strip tilled stuff, and he said that all the choppers this year have had ag leader yield monitors put in them, so they should be able to pick up the difference. Like, they might not be pinpoint accurate, but you should be able to see a difference in yield between the two things. So it's going to be interesting to see what they come out at. But that will pretty much do it for this video, guys. So hope you enjoyed it. Thumbs up like always, and apart from that, see you next time.